The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old.
So what do you do, Jeff, when you get given a whole lot of gifts and it kind of misses the mark? We were talking about the show notes today, and it was a scenario that we experienced as well. So from your recent birthday, it sounds like there were some well-meaning, but perhaps ill-fated gifts that were given.
Yeah, they're just slight misses. That's all, right? And I mean, we've gone to many birthdays, and when you buy a gift for somebody else, you're like, well, I'm just lobbing this in there because my kid doesn't know what you want. So
hope you like Pokemon. Ah,
here you go.
Miss.
But no, we always include like the gift receipt, right? Like that is like like, okay, you know, you don't like it, you return it. So there's a couple gifts that my 9-year-old got, and we're like, I think they're like Lego based. I'm like, all right, we're out of Lego. We're actually looking at like piles of Lego down here, and we're like, when do we sneak this away? Because no one plays with it, and it just takes up space.
Okay, so I have to travel nearby you recently, so what we should probably do,
just saying,
I'm gonna come in the night. It's gonna be very quiet. I won't even stop the car. You'll be walking, and you'll just kind of huck a garbage bag full into my car as I drive past. And if they ask something Santa something.
No, I think we should do like a meeting place like at night, right? And then the cops show up. They're like, "What's going down?" Like a garbage bag full of Lego in the trunk. Like, drive, go.
Yeah, running away. It's like, why did you run away? This is totally fine. That's why the podcast ended.
That's right. Yeah, that's it.
I do love when another gaming parent or another parent doesn't have that same parenting empathy. So the gaming receipt, the receipt with the gift,
yes,
when given as part of that, is one of those like secret parent nods where it's like, look, we're all spending money here. We definitely want to help your kid out. It's very nice. Like, this is great, but like, shot in the dark. If you got to return it, get that money.
Right? Yeah,
that's fine. Like, I can't give you $30. So I'm giving you $30 via Toys R Us. So just have at it, bud.
Yeah.
So there was a couple of misses on your end.
Yeah, a couple of misses. So we checked out like, hey, okay, what's this gonna get us? Because we can go into like Toys R Us and get there's a couple new books that my 9-year-old wants, and if he trades something like Lego, where you know they're not even really gonna build it, they're gonna give it to their older brother to build, and then just admire the final product. We will just go in there and exchange and get these couple books, and then maybe like a DLC, something for a game or something. But it was just like one of those things where you kind of feel guilty. You're like, yeah, they tried, and I bet people have done that to our games too, right? And I try to like spread the love a little bit and be like, okay, here's a gift card to the movie theater. Like, everybody loves movies, but then you don't know their life, so they're like, well, they're grounded this week, so they're not going to a movie, like stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, the guilt is real. Like, and again, I would like to think again, like it's one of those supportive parent things.
Yeah.
On TV, what would happen in the sitcom version of our lives? What happens is, I give your kids a gift, or a gift from my son to your kids.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, thanks so much. And then I go to like Value Village or like some other secondhand store, and it's like sitting there.
Yep.
And it's like craft, like it has like the signature, even like still it has the receipt. And then I come back and I confront you, and it's a big awkward like scene.
No. I invite you over for dinner, and then you're trying to look for it, or like you're like teasing about it, right? And then the laugh track kicks in, right? So
okay. That is the better sitcom. I get. So I have my kid give your kid a terrible gift.
Yes.
You give it away.
Right.
We come for dinner the next week, and like, hey, I'm talking to my own kid. Do you know that they got? Remember when you gave them this? Why don't you go and play with it? Like, You might wonder how I found myself in this situation.
Okay, so now that we say it though, if my 9-year-old invites this person over, his friend over, are they gonna look for the gift that they got them for their birthday? Because that might happen. We're coming out of the pandemic, hopefully, and we're gonna have more friends over. Is that something that they're gonna look for? Like, I know the kid won't take it personally. Maybe the kid doesn't even know what they got them. So like the parents kind of do the work. At least I do. So I don't know. That now has entered my mind. So you've poisoned my mind with that. So
you're gonna go back and buy it? Go rebuy.
Exactly.
No. I'd say I would make a stand. I would like to think all the gaming dads listening to this show are of good stock.
Yeah.
And should they ever give a gift, it's with full knowledge that, like, look, if you have to return this thing, that's no problem.
That's exactly right.
We're all just out here surviving.
That's
buddy.
right.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, and before we kind of move on, like, what? Okay, I'm gonna put this on air. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Cool. Great.
9-year-old birthday, and we're going to one next week for somebody else. So hopefully they don't return our gift. What is the value that you're getting 9-year-olds in the year 2022 with inflation and food prices? like what is acceptable? Because I've been going like, here's a $25 gift card or something. But is that too low? Like, what can they get with that? A Starbucks? I was going to
say, considering it cost me $50 in gas to drive there, my presence is enough of a present, frankly.
That's true.
I would honestly, $30 is what I'd want it to be. That feels like fairly meaty. That is something that's interesting. No, that's the area. I was about to say maybe even up to 50, but that's like ridiculous. I would not want to put that on people.
Well, is there some sort of like equation or algorithm we can go by? Like, is it $1 per year or something, or like a multiple of 3?
But it's like if you come to my house and you bring me $30 worth of beer, I'm a very happy man.
Well, that's true. Yes,
you know what I mean. So as much, I don't know that it gets much higher than that. Like, it kind of feels like 30 is like if. That is a substantial gift, but it's not ridiculous because, like, let's be frank here, like, we're all just like parents trying to get by.
Yeah.
So I would kind of feel like that's the cap. Like, it's a small little something. It's a nod, like, hey, like, happy birthday. This is great. You're gonna give me this $30 back in like 4 months when my kid has a birthday. This is just like we are just exchanging it back and forth through third parties. So
okay, that works because I get my kids to do their own birthday cards, so they have to draw them. I'm like, you have to put thought into this. You can't go and buy a card. You got to do gift card and you got to draw your card. Like, put the effort in. So I think that's worth the $5. So I'm up to that $30 value, I think.
There you go.
And we're good.
Yeah. 25 is fine. Like, I'm splitting hairs at that point. 25, 30, that range I think is great. Okay. The fact that you make your kids do that though, like, that is stunning. That is really cool. Like, I don't know that I'd like to think the kids will appreciate it. I know the parents will certainly appreciate it. I think the parents look at like, oh, this is so sweet.
Yeah.
Like, this puts pressure on me. Thanks, jerk.
Yeah. I mean, some cards are better than other years. Like, you can really tell when my kids really like this birthday person they're going to. Do you know what I mean? Like, that extra effort in the card is pretty apparent.
But if it's a group of friends,
yeah, it's true.
And the one year it's this like 8-page comic book, and the next it's like a heart, and the name misspelled. It's gonna be pretty apparent.
It's not even a heart; it's just like a cutout, like half triangle. They're like, "I tried. Here you go."
It's like, I remember when you got Devin's card. That was a fairly intricate piece of work, and you've entirely misnamed me here. I don't know how to feel right now.
Yeah. It's a whole pop-out book. Like, it unfolded and things popped out of it. Like, everything was intricate. But no, this one, yeah. So, no, you can tell. You can tell. So it is a test. Like, if you do employ that with your kids, like, by all means, just, like, look over their shoulder and be like, oh, you really like Dylan, eh? Dylan's a good friend to you? I get it. All right.
Single line. There, it's a Minecraft. It's a Minecraft creeper. Happy
That's right.
birthday.
Yeah. There you go.
Where's the cake? Oh, if any gaming dads out there have had their own similar stories, I'd love to hear about it around, especially around the gifting, because it's sort of an awkward one. But in reaching out to you, fellow gaming dads, I feel like you're on our side.
I hope
we're part of a secret society of wink and nods. Like, let's just get past this. So please feel free to reach out to us at our Twitter at NewDadGaming, our website newdadgaming.com. So serendipitously and unfortunately, it seems like we're having very much the same situation in our households. I imagine it's one in many other gaming dads' households as well. It's the punishment of losing games is unbelievably effective.
Yep.
Almost too effective. And so much as it seems to be the only thing my kids care about. So, like, I'll rattle first, and I want you to, like, add to it. So the situation we're finding in our house right now is that honestly, the gaming time is under control. I think with the pandemic, things kind of got out of control, and I had no shame in that whatsoever, given like the crazy circumstances. But we wrangled it back into control. They have a good mix of like screen time, play time, running out. They've made a lot of friends recently with some kids around the neighborhood, so that fairly balanced, fairly so pretty happy with that.
Good.
Be that as it may, anytime they do something wrong, anytime we start to put something a bit on them because they need to act better, like you need like finish your dinner, like put this in the hamper, like you like finish up your homework, their immediate concern is like, oh, am I gonna lose my video game? Am I gonna lose my video game? It's
game
like,
over.
Son, you should be worried about being in trouble.
Yeah.
However that may fall, like it's not just the video game part. Like every single time there's any type of trouble, their first concern about it, they're not worried about being in trouble.
Yeah.
They are worried about losing their game. And that is the sole focus of it. And it sounds like you're kind of going through the same situation.
Yeah, it's the same over here, and it's really frustrating when they're in trouble because of the behavior, right? So again, my oldest is supposed to do just simple chores every weekend, and they didn't do it this weekend. And when we found out, there's a couple like hum-ha's and lying about it, right? Because they're like, oh God, I'm going to lose my game, right? That's where it starts. And then when we talk about behavior, I'm like, you're skipping your chores to get back to the game. So that's the problem. So the games have to go away. And immediately the tears. So the tears aren't because, I broke your trust. I lied to it. I lied to you. Like it wasn't nothing about that. It was just like, I can't go play Minecraft. So, and it's a little bit with the 11-year-old, it's just all online with his friends and stuff. So it is that communication aspect to it. Maybe that plays a part, but really it's just they're terrified about losing their games, not about changing the behavior. Maybe like that was part of, trying to cheat the chores and get back to the game, right? Because they don't want to let us know that something bad happens because they don't want to lose it. So I'm feeling it with the same thing. It's just like, where do you go from there? Because that is like straight to, their heart of like what they want. And that's just a consequence of your action, right? Like you don't get the thing if you didn't do what, part of the family community chores are to earn the thing. So,
yeah, it's been. I'm happy for them to play. Like it's enjoyable, especially when we get to play together. It's great.
Yeah.
And it's been good as a tool as far as like keeping on the straight and narrow. That look, this is a bonus activity. Like you doing this represents that the rest of everything else is in line. Like your homework's done. You've been good. Like you haven't like insulted anybody. Like it's so that part was all great. But yeah, it's just certainly gone now to that other level that I'm unsure how to handle it. Do I remove games for a month just entirely? So like, look, this is off the table. There will be no games until we get
like readjust, right? It's like reprioritize. Yeah. That's part of the conversation we had tonight. Like the priority is their games. It's not the behavior to the family. So do you take it away for a month and just kind of like restart, like a cold reboot, like power off? Like
it just, as much as that's kind of true, it also just feels like it's an ultimate punishment, and that like they're just losing. They're the biggest fear they have is losing the game. So they're gonna lose the game for a month because they haven't really been balanced into their approach. But then you're going to reintroduce it again, and is there any way to introduce it where it's not? Yeah, like I do think it's. I imagine it is much more pronounced because it is games. Because games are utterly fantastic. Like I try to think about any kid that would not enjoy the visceral, fun, colorful, engaging story elements. Like these things it's built for kids in many ways. Like we just as adults happen to like it too. Yeah. Right? That's the wrong way to put it. But everyone here knows what I'm talking about. So it is their ultimate comfort, is like their ultimate thing. I can appreciate that they'd want to do it and it would be their main drive, but
well, yeah. And to be honest, right? We're all honest here. Yeah. It's a punishment on us too. So I'm not saying that like
real for a second.
The screen kind of takes the load off you a bit. Well, it kind of does. But it's like now they're going to be like wandering aimlessly through the house, shuffling their feet, at least my kids, I'm bored. I don't want to do anything, right? And then you have to let them be bored, kind of like our last episode, where you have to figure out something other than the screen to keep you entertained that does not, like, I'm fine to play with my kids. Obviously, that's not a problem. We whip out a board game, go on a trail walk, whatever. But I can't do that for all your gaming time that you had, right? Like, you need to take some of your own time and figure that out. So,
yeah, it was useful. Like, parents are more and more encumbered with daily life, right? It's like now, like, all two parents both work, and like keeping up with the house is just like next to impossible. So having your kid, and none of us live with our parents or even within proximity to parents, right? So community has been lost. So with all those burdens put upon us, the thought that a kid for 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours would be fully engaged while you take care of the rest of life. So it's not like we're trying to put them on the game system and go with a daiquiri into the backyard.
No, but that would be wonderful. But no, we aren't doing that. Great. Yeah.
Instead, it's like, okay, now I can do the dishes and the laundry and like get the gardening finished type of thing. So it certainly is a punishment of ourselves, where it's like they're going to be honest, and as much as we would a spouse like be bored and just like run about, there's still going to be the tension. Like, them being on top of you is still gonna like impact your ability to get some things finished.
Yeah, and it's like take your kid to work day. It's like, all right, kid, come along with me. Let's make some dinner. Let's go grocery shopping. Let's do all the things that I was doing while you were gaming. So let's go along. But yeah, like you said, like to reintroduce it and come back from it. Like, how does that all work? So I'm looking for answers. I'm sure you're looking for answers. If anybody has answers, I don't know. Please. We're kind of flying blind here.
I think about, so if when I was young, I played hockey and like I just loved it, to the point where my parents could actually take hockey away as a punishment.
Right.
They'd still make me go to practice because that's not fun.
No,
but I can't go to. I can't go to the tournament. I can't go to the game on the weekend type of thing. So like they had multiple cudgels, but like that, like hockey was my ultimate thing. Like that's what I thought about the most, and that's what I wanted at certain points when I was younger.
Yeah.
So for them to take that away, I could imagine almost that same impetus. Like, did I lose hockey?
Well,
so I wonder if we're almost like overthinking it in a small way. That's like we are overemphasizing the fact that it's this digital medium with gaming because of some of like the negative things that can come along with it.
Yeah.
And we're over supposing that like, oh, this is because it's a crazy addictive medium, as opposed to this is just the thing the kids like the most. It could have been you can't play with your Pokemon cards, like for a kid like 10 years ago, or you can't play with your Legos, or you lose your bike, or whatever. Insert current kid. You can't play with your Pogs, young man.
I was about to say, what was the cool thing back? Your hacky sacks, your Pogs.
You can't play with your Pogs or hacky sack, young man.
What? No.
I hate you. Slam the door.
I'm taking that frisbee away. What?
Yeah, so perhaps we're overthinking it slightly. I think like gaming does have a lot more things to be cautious with, as we noted. It's like addictive, like it is designed and built to drag people into play more. But ultimately, it just happens to be the preeminent entertainment thing that our kids like to do at the moment. So it's not so much games as it is just is there something else you can leverage as a parent to apply some I don't want to say punishment. It's
it's just a consequence, right? Like it's just something that's the word. It's just
that's a word. I don't want to say punishment. I want to say consequence.
They're not even getting like back in my day. No, it's just like it's a consequence of you didn't do the thing, you don't get this other thing that you like, right? So if that needs to happen, and so you can reprioritize things, by all means. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. Like everything's kind of like, I guess like my son plays games where there's leaderboards and stuff, right? So he's going to drop down on those leaderboards, and that's going through his head. So those are the tears streaming down his face that
interesting.
He worked hard for that, and now he's going to lose that, much like a hockey tournament, right? Like you work hard to get there, and all of a sudden you can't go. Mm-hmm. Well, that is the consequence, right? And hopefully that kind of restarted me as a kid. When I lost my bike, that was my mode of transportation. I couldn't be with my friends because they were off riding away, and I'm running, like huffing, like, wait up, guys.
And kids have even like your friends will have no chill.
No,
like,
no.
Oh, okay, well, he lost his bike,
that's
so it's
you,
just all
man.
Like, it's like, well, that sucks. Bring, bring. Just like,
and then you're doing circles around you, like, how does it feel, huh?
God, that is a whole different layer of it. Like, I wouldn't mind like diving a little bit into that. So because for my kids, it's just their playtime. Like, hooray! Like, we're playing games. And they're trying to beat some things, but there's no permanence to it. There's no like nothing happens within the game if they kind of miss it. But the thought that your kids have been achieving, like actually ranking on some of these things because they're putting in hours, so they're climbing the ladder, and that's going to start to taper off. Like, honestly, you have it much worse than I do for two factors. Just like, I almost feel bad bringing it up. Like, I feel bad complaining about it because mine's relatively easy. They just like playing games in their free time.
Yeah.
Your kids have two more difficult angles. One is that's where all of their friends meet. So all of their friends are online playing this game.
Yeah.
So that's their bikes.
That's their bikes. I was about to say, they're around like, yeah, okay, sucker. Like,
so they're on their digital bikes of Minecraft, and your kid cannot play with his friends.
Yeah.
That sucks. And it'd be him trying to convince all his friends, like, hey, put down the most amazing game ever and just come outside with me.
Right.
And then secondly, the achievement in that your kid is actually scoring on a leaderboard, which is going to suffer he's not on. That is particularly difficult.
Yeah. So like that was going through our head too, right? Like obviously we don't want to split hairs and we don't want to give him a little bit of it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like off or on. Yeah. It's just, it can't happen any other way because he's going to take advantage. Because right now, again, we don't trust him completely to just abide by the rules we set. So the online leaderboard thing, remember, Trevor, like we subscribe to this like lifetime server that he gets through Minecraft, right? So like he puts in the hours of his game time to this server leaderboard thing. So that is going to drop substantially with everybody else playing however long he loses it. Again, it's on him to earn it back. But knowing him, it'll be a slow process for that to happen unless I like print a screenshot of the leaderboard and be like, okay, on Tuesday, look at you, you're way down here. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to like taunt him, but it hurts just to see that kind of like slip away. And again, like the thing with the friends and the bikes, it's going to be hard convincing people at recess to talk about something else that didn't happen the previous night. Right? Oh. It's like watching that TV show. Like everybody watched that TV show and they talked about it the next day, right? Like The Simpsons or something, and you didn't watch it. Like you're out of that conversation. Like you had nobody. You would just be in the corner talking to a brick wall or the teacher at recess. Like that would be it. Like,
remember when Sideshow Bob did this? No.
Who shot Mr. Burns? I don't know. Shut up. I didn't see it. Like,
I can't see it until the DVD, till the VHS comes out.
That's quiet. There's no more reruns until like September. You gotta shut up. Yeah.
Damn, man. Like, yeah, I'm having a hard time processing how I would do it because the not being able to access his friends sucks, and because that's the main mode, and especially in times of pandemic, that makes the most sense. And then the leaderboard thing, I suppose it's a lot like hockey, like, exactly as you'd said, like you started off with, is that you've been training and you've been fighting for this, but ultimately there's consequences to your actions. But so that's neat. That's the dad line, and that's the dad mantra that we follow. Yeah. So when they come back and they say to us, like, when every single punishment relates back to, but I don't want to lose my game, I kind of understand it. It's sort of like
absolutely.
I don't see a lot of ways out. Jeez, we've talked now about this for 20 minutes. And we have not come up with any solution.
No, it actually makes me feel a lot worse for doing it. Like, yeah, I had guilt doing it, and you're supposed to make those tough decisions as a parent. It's not hard, right? Like, and I want to like see him have fun and do all this stuff, but yeah, you gotta help out, and this is just gonna get worse if we let this slide. Like, you need to be here. So yeah, this 20-minute talk, Trevor, is not doing me a whole bunch of favors.
Yeah, this was not a good episode. I'm sorry.
Way to bring it all down. I hope like our audience is like, no, I got a solution. Let me email them right away.
Yeah, I hope you are chomping at the bit with ideas at New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. We'll keep it posted. I think, if anything, I think it's going to have to rely on communication. Yeah. Like it's a bit harder with mine, again, like 4 and 6, like I do as much as I can to be transparent and open and, available to them and describe my decision making. Like I hate the "I'm dad, I said so" type of nonsense. Yeah. So I think you have a bit better with your slightly older ones, where it's just like, here's the problem. It's that this, like, this is the punishment, but like you can't frame it in this sense, and I want to be sensitive to it because that's where your friends are, and I appreciate that. You have a leaderboard, and I appreciate that, but like it's on the table. Like you could lose this, so let's find ways to do it. It feels like it's gonna have to be talked out.
It will be. And you know how many, like, when you try to relate to them in these conversations, like how many Minecraft references I make, be like, okay, the laundry thing is much like this recipe in Minecraft. If you don't have this thing, do you know what I mean? Like that is now in my like phrasing and jargon and like communication to them, right? Like, let's frame it in your world. Here you go.
You see, son, life is like a Goomba. Trying to throw dad.
Hey, it's me, a laundry. Come in and do
me. Life is like the Ouija. He's second best. Nobody wants to do it.
Everyone ignores him. Nobody wants to be with him.
And a quick one to end up the show. I think we both had an experience this week with losing our dad patience with games that were not built for dads.
Yeah,
it had no instructions, so it's dads just losing patience with games that are not trying to help the player out. So in my case, that's Tunic, and with your case, unsurprisingly, anyone who follows us on Twitter would be with Elden Ring.
Right.
So what were you finding with good old Elden Ring?
Well, again, like just open world, like we're not going to tell you anything, but like it works on its own logic where I don't have the time to kind of go through and be everywhere in this world at once, where only something will trigger during the game world at night while you did these 3 other things. Like I have no idea, and it makes the whole game a lot easier if you get this item that spawns. I have no clue, and I don't have my younger self patience, time, or like just even understanding, because I play this game when I'm like half asleep, which is probably not good.
Yeah, there's a first problem.
Right? So it's just like one of those things where you're like, I can't do this. I need to just have the wiki next to me and go through and be spoiled. Like a lot of this time, I don't want to be spoiled. I want to like, take in this world, but I'm finding I'm going to drop this game if I don't do the things that the game wants me to do. So I don't know if that's the same thing with Tunic, but that's how I felt in Elden Ring.
Yeah, it's just like all things being equal, with a abundance of time, it would be lovely to just traverse in this world and slowly uncover the mystery. But like some of it can be so asinine in that, like, oh, until you ring this bell 4 times during the night, you can't do it. And that's never spelled out. It just seems to be something that you're somehow going to experiment with and eventually find. So that type of, it just lends itself to not being particularly dad friendly.
No.
With such limited time to do so. But by the same token, I think you mentioned the wiki. I think it's going to be, I'm at the stage now. I was giving it a good effort as far as like, let me roam around and see what's up.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a little bit longer, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be Google's my buddy, and every single phase is just like, and now what do I do? And now what do I do? But which also feels kind of sad, because it feels like having this story naturally unfold to me would be joyous.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to try to resist. Like, I would like to beat this one normally, and it's a very chill, cutesy, nice game. So, but not a bad one to just allow unfold and fool around and fail until I figure it out. But Elden Ring seems a lot more stressful and massive to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's just too big, and I'm going to drop it before like I get anywhere, right? So I want to just have the instructions in front of me, to have like to talk to a character 3 times before they give you a thing. Like it's those things. Like now I'm talking to every character 3 times to see if they have an item hidden, right? Like, or you talk to them at night versus the day. I'm like, okay, I can't do this. There's no way I can do this.
Sucks.
So I will be on the wiki. You will be soaking in this world like the developer wants you to, and I'll be over here trying to play it like, a recipe to make dinner or something. Like, what's next? What's the next ingredient? Let's go.
There you go. That's the in-between. So your kids can't play games, but they can still help you.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Your punishment is that you have to be dad's wiki.
That's right. That's right. We're next. It's like a co-pilot. Yeah, I like that idea.
All right. See, we solved it. We came back around.
Okay, that's perfect.
There we go. Solving problems, changing lives. We'll wrap it up on that note. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. if you like the show, you can subscribe to us on all of the podcasting networks. So that is Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. We are this year trying to get out to as many gaming dads as possible. What really helps with that is sharing out the show, subscribing, and especially leaving comments. It helps increase the signal of the show to as many gaming dads as possible. Do you have an idea on how to approach punishment with kids when gaming is the only thing they care about? Do you have suggestions for how a hapless dad should approach a difficult game and when they should throw in the towel for a wiki? We'd love to hear from you at New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. We've been on Twitter a bunch, and interacting with the dads has been one of the greatest things ever. So we'd love to hear from you from a shout out. And if anything you want to share, we could possibly get on the show as well. And everybody, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old that's not playing his video games and a 9-year-old.
Wow. Just remember, just because you became a dad
doesn't mean it's game over. Unless you're in trouble, then it's game over.
That's game over. That's not even game over. It's just like no game.
No game. No continues. You're out of lives. That's it.
Did I lose my game?
Yes. That's it.
Yes, son. Yes, you did. See you next week.
See you later.